For centuries, nature has been painted as a brutal battleground where only the strongest survive. But what if I told you that some of Earth's most fascinating creatures seem to be running a secret welfare program? From whales playing lifeguard to vampire bats running a nocturnal soup kitchen, the animal kingdom is bursting with unexpected acts of generosity. The humpback whale, nature's unofficial lifeguard. Imagine you're a tiny seal, desperately dodging a gang of hungry orcas. Just when all hope seems lost, an unlikely hero appears, a massive humpback whale, surging through the water like an oceanic superhero. With powerful fluke slaps and sheer determination, it drives the orcas away, giving you a second chance at life. Then, as quickly as it came, the whale swims off, resuming its long migration. This isn't a one-time event. Marine biologists have recorded multiple instances of humpbacks intervening in orca hunts, sometimes even protecting other whales, sea lions, or helpless seals. But why would a whale, which has nothing to gain, put itself in danger for another species? Some scientists speculate that these rescues could be a result of their deep-rooted protective instincts, an extension of the maternal care they show their own calves. Others believe it could be a case of misplaced aggression against orcas, whom they might see as longtime foes. But let's be honest, maybe humpbacks are just the unproblematic heroes of the sea, keeping the ocean a little less terrifying for the underdogs. Redefining survival of the fittest. It's not just about being the toughest. Since Charles Darwin published On the Origin of Species, the phrase survival of the fittest has been thrown around like a universal rule of nature, often misunderstood to mean that only the strongest, fiercest creatures come out on top. It conjures up images of battle-hardened predators clashing for dominance, as if the animal kingdom were one giant, never-ending wrestling match. But here's the twist: Darwin never meant fitness in the sense of brute strength. In evolutionary biology, fitness isn't about having a bodybuilder's physique or winning a no-holds-barred jungle brawl. Instead, it refers to an organism's ability to successfully pass on its genes to the next generation. This means that sometimes the best survivors aren't the most muscular, but the most resourceful, the most adaptable, or surprisingly, the most cooperative. And if you think the natural world is all about tooth and claw, let's take a closer look at some creatures who have made teamwork, kindness, and clever strategies their secret weapons for survival. When nature says, "I got your back," cooperation in the animal kingdom isn't just an exception, it's a fundamental survival strategy. Some animals form mutually beneficial partnerships, while others go so far as to sacrifice their own well-being for the greater good. Take, for instance, the cleaner wrasse, meerkats, and vampire bats, three very different species that have all found creative ways to make cooperation work for them. In the shimmering waters of the Great Barrier Reef, the tiny yet industrious cleaner wrasse operates a full-service spa for larger fish. With impeccable precision, these little cleaners nibble away parasites and dead skin, keeping their much bigger clients healthy and itch-free. In return, they get a steady food supply and the protection of their giant customers. But here's where things get interesting. Every now and then, a particularly bold wrasse decides to get a little extra snack by taking a bite of the fish it's cleaning. That's right, Dr. Wrasse occasionally turns into Count Wrassula, sneaking in a cheeky nibble of its customer's flesh. Fortunately, this betrayal doesn't last long, as the wrasse quickly returns to its professional duties, likely hoping that its patient won't take its business elsewhere. Meanwhile, in the vast Kalahari Desert, meerkat mobs spend their days tirelessly digging for food, but keeping their heads down makes them easy targets for hungry eagles circling above. That's where the meerkat sentries come in. These brave little lookouts climb to the highest vantage points, scanning the skies while their group forages. If they spot danger, they let out an urgent warning cry, sending the entire mob scrambling to the safety of their burrows. But here's the catch: by raising the alarm, the sentry draws attention to itself, increasing its own risk of becoming lunch. It seems like a raw deal, but it turns out that meerkat groups are mostly made up of family members. By keeping their relatives safe, the sentry is indirectly ensuring that its genes continue to be passed down, a risky but effective family insurance policy. And then there's the most surprising philanthropist of all, the vampire bat. Forget what horror movies have told you. Real vampire bats aren't as menacing as they seem. Sure, They survive by drinking blood, but they take only tiny, non-lethal amounts from their prey. The real plot twist: they also run an informal soup kitchen for their fellow bats. If a vampire bat has a bad hunting night, it could be in serious danger of starving. But instead of letting their roost mates perish, other bats voluntarily regurgitate a portion of their own blood meal to share. This might sound disgustingly selfless, but there's a clever reason behind it. It's a classic case of reciprocal altruism. In other words, bats that share food today are more likely to receive help in return when they're in need. It's not just generosity, it's a long-term survival strategy with a built-in safety net. So whether it's the cleaner wrasse running a fish spa, the meerkat sentry playing the role of a watchful guardian, or the vampire bat proving that even bloodsuckers have a heart, the animal kingdom is full of surprising examples of cooperation. These creatures remind us that sometimes being fit isn't about being the biggest or the baddest, it's about being smart enough to work together, adapt, and find strength in numbers. The mystery of humpback whale heroism. Are they the ocean's guardian angels? With most examples of animal cooperation, there's a clear-cut reason, whether it's mutual benefit, indirect fitness, or future favors. But when it comes to humpback whales fearlessly charging into danger to rescue animals they have no relation to, scientists are left baffled. Why would these gentle giants spend their energy and risk injury just to save a stray seal or a fellow whale from a pack of hungry orcas? Some researchers speculate that it could be an accidental byproduct of their strong parental instincts. After all, humpbacks are incredibly protective of their calves. Others believe they could be acting out of sheer frustration with orcas, their longtime foes in the oceanic food chain. Could it be that these whales just really enjoy ruining an orca's day? But the most intriguing possibility? Maybe, just maybe, there are acts of pure altruism in nature, kindness without expectation, generosity with no strings attached. While science may not have a definite answer yet, one thing is for sure: the animal kingdom isn't just about the survival of the strongest. Sometimes it's about looking out for one another, forming unexpected alliances, and being a hero when no one else will. What we can learn from nature's good Samaritans: a lesson in kindness. If a tiny meerkat can risk its life for its family, and a vampire bat can share its hard-earned meal with a hungry friend, then maybe, just maybe, we humans have something to learn from them. Despite the constant struggle for survival in nature, cooperation, generosity, and kindness have found a way to thrive. Next time you see a stranger in need of a helping hand, remember there's a humpback whale somewhere body-checking an orca to save a helpless seal. There's a meerkat standing guard to keep its family safe. There's a bat regurgitating its dinner just to make sure a fellow bat doesn't starve. If nature can make space for compassion, so can we. And if the animal kingdom can pull off these heartwarming acts, what's stopping us from doing the same? Maybe we can all channel our inner humpback whale, standing up for those who can't defend themselves. Or at the very least, let's try not to be the cleaner wrasse that sneakily takes a bite out of its clients. Speaking of cooperation, here's your chance to join our growing community. If you enjoyed this deep dive into nature's unsung heroes, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss out on more mind-blowing animal facts. See you in the next wild adventure.